gonna croon a few minutes. If you want to get in on it, go right ahead. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe. Ooh, babe.
Wednesday night, I have to open up by asking a question. And that question is very, very simple to all of you all tonight. Before I even begin, I have to ask this question. I have to ask this question. I can't go on unless I ask this question. Who is God to you? Who do you call God? What do you call God? Do you call him El Shaddai? Do you call him El Elyon? Maybe you call him Adonai, Yahweh, or Jehovah Nisi, or Jehovah Ra, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Shammah. Or maybe you call him El Olam. Or maybe you call him Elohim. And maybe you call him Jehovah Jireh. But whatever you do, you call upon him to give him the praise that he so richly deserves. Before we can even spend any time together, we have to take a moment and praise the person that makes it possible for us to be here. Even if some of us don't believe as everybody else, we know the truth, don't we? When we say we're children of the Most High, and people say, well, Most High what? And when we say that all of the original members of the 12 tribes of Israel are people of color, people get bent out of shape over that, even though archaeological records are proving that left and right. And when you see these people out in their belief street teaching and public speaking, and you see people who rely on social media trying to spread disinformation, and you see people that's, even though they're all of the same faith, they're divided into organizations or sects that operate semi-independently across the nation. Either way, no matter how you try to cut it, whether you consider yourself to be a Baptist, a Christian, Episcopalian on the Rock of Gibraltar, maybe you think that you slid in on a magic carpet and that Allah blessed you enough that you could receive the honorable teachings so that you could stand firmly on your square. Or maybe you're one of those people who still believes that all of these are related all the way back to the true origins, which means that if I have to reach behind me somehow, I might have to pull out the ultimate power right here in your face. And then that's a whole nother conversation, because without this, you wouldn't have a cross. But that's a whole nother story for another time. The point is, no matter how you try to cut it, we have to give praise to the Most High. So stop right now what you're doing before I start this Factz Over Feelingz super late, super fast, quickie edition, and give praise in your own way to that which you consider to be the Most High. I have to stop and say that Yahweh is who I worship. I don't know about you, because he's always letting us know that he has people, entities watching over you. Now, I ain't got to start with this. Y'all already know what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all know that every time somebody asked me, Jay, the other day, I saw 444. I said, you saw 444? He said, I saw the 4. Everywhere I turned, it was 444 on the license plate. When I woke up, it was 4:44 in the morning. When I played the song that was on the radio, when it went off, it was 4 minutes and 44 seconds long. He says, I keep seeing 4 444 everywhere. But then every time I asked somebody, they told me something different. So let me break it down to you real quick why it's important that you understand that whoever it is that you are leading to be the custodian of your soul or custodian of your being or whoever you expect to get you out of a tight ass squeeze, that when you see 444, who's talking to you, why they're talking to you, and if you are the person that they should be talking to. You see, 444 is a sign that someone is trying to communicate with you. I said someone. I didn't say something. I didn't say something to talk to or at. I said someone is trying to communicate with you. There's a lot of people who believe that they contact us using this language because it's a universal meaning. Math is a universal language. 444 is a number of protection. It's a number of encouragement. It's a sign that you are currently following the right path. If you see the number 444 repeatedly, it is often your watcher or your Kodash Matakim or your angel, as you call it. I wish they wouldn't say that name, but then again, the word angel means messenger. So it's your messenger, your assigned messenger, your own personal concierge, your own, the person that's supposed to help you out, your own porter while you own the ship. That person is often giving you a sign that they with you. They're not going to get in the middle of what you're doing. They letting you like, go ahead and do what you're doing. We right here. Don't think about it. We here. We ain't going to let you step left or step right, but you're going to go through and do what you're supposed to be doing. 444 is also a sign reminding you to feel confident and supported in the knowledge that your folks are posted on deck. If you see in 444, it's a sign to stop worrying. They got this. You got this. Don't let nobody come along and spook you, change your mind, fill you with doubt, give you reasonable doubt to doubt that which already makes sense, not just in what you see with your eyes, but what you feel in your spirit, what you feel in the core of your heart, what you feel in the back of your mind, that little voice that talks to you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know you should listen to the voice, but somebody came along and said, Chad, if I was you, I wouldn't even rock with that because I heard, and you just let somebody disrupt what you were listening to from the Father talking down into you, telling you this is what you need to be doing. And then he got watchers on deck to tell you, go ahead, you doing it. That's what they saying to you. On another note, an alternative meaning of 444 is that it is a symbol of imminent financial luck. I don't know if you want to buy into that one, but on most keyboards, the 4 key is also the $ key. So 444 literally means money, money, money. That's if you worshiping money. See, we can always find a way to read our ways into this, but what it really means, it's also a symbol. And this is where we're going to bless somebody real quick. Before we even get started, I ain't even done with my intro, is that it is a symbol for a spiritual awakening. Oh, did I just speak a word right here tonight? Welcome to Factz Over Feelings. I am the Grandmaster Jay. Late edition here tonight, but we're going to jump right in and jump right out. And when it's all said and done, they're going to say like the old Larry Graham song, pow, I got you again. Shouldn't have caught you with your guard down. I'm going to drop this on you real quick. Y'all can chew on it later and then catch me in the morning for the morning mental. But let's go ahead and get it cracking right here on Factz Over Feelings, because I've been in this little mini series of mine where we've been talking about things such as the patriot, the pattern, and the predicament. And then the other day we came back with y'all remember, y'all been keeping up with me. We've been talking about the remote, the reminder, the revision, and the revolution. We talked about that. And then we came back this morning and I showed you all that you have to remember that if you are going to be the judge, make sure you read the book. Otherwise you'll be fooled by the cover. We broke all that down this morning. So now tonight, we got to touch on a few more things before I tiptoe out the door and I set you up for what we're about to get into probably sometime next week, depending on how the wind blows. But we're about to do a 10-part series on the destruction of Black civilization by Chancellor Williams. If you don't have the book, go on up in the bookstore and scare the hell out of somebody and ask them, pardon me, but do you have Destruction of the Black Civilization, and watch them be shook? Oh, I can order it for you. Maybe you should order it for me. And while you're at it, do you have Negroes with Guns? That's something by Robert F. Williams I want to get also. And watch them just be all broke up, shook up, and on the phone when your ass leave. You're not going to believe what they're in here. They're buying books again. So 444 is a way of confirming that you're in the right place at the right time and that you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You see, the more you put into your spiritual practice, the more you get out of it. So when you start seeing a lot of 444s, that means you're planting a lot of seeds. Something's about to pop off. I'm not trying to preach to you and I'm not trying to teach you. I'm just stating facts. We don't let feelings come up in here. And most of y'all who've been in the slave master church, you've been a victim of getting caught up in emotion, falling all out, wiggling on the floor because you felt good. But see, nothing good comes out of you if it's not coming from the inner you, not your heart, but your soul. Your soul ain't gonna have you wiggling around on the goddamn floor. Your soul ain't gonna have you speaking in foreign tongues to absolutely nobody, like God who sits up on seven heaven is listening to your ass all the way down here where you're supposed to be in class learning to elevate your soul. I hate to come at y'all like that, but you need to hear it because ain't nobody gonna give it to you straight with no chaser. So let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to talk about that first because people say, well, Jay, I keep seeing 444. And they say, well, you keep saying someone's watching me. Who's watching me? And what are they going to do? Well, if you could speak Aramaic, which is the original language of Yeshua, you would know that the word liyair, which is actually, if we were to translate to English from theology, the root of the herb is to awake, to be watchful. In Greek, it becomes the egregores, which is the watchers, those who are awake, the guards, the watchers. It's a term that we use in connection with biblical. Notice I said biblical, the book messengers, the biblical angels. The watchers occurs in both plural and singular terms in the book of Daniel, where reference is made to their holiness. And in and remember, in our primary text in this particular class is always the first book of Enoch with Yahweh's name restored, if you can get a copy. In those books, it's also mentioned they refer to both good and bad watchers, with the primary focus on the rebellious ones. You know, the first 200 that came down here and caused the mess to start with, not to mention all the others that had to join them when a certain you-know-who got kicked out of the operation because he wanted to declare himself to be the general, that he wanted to declare himself to be the one who put it all together, because he wanted to declare himself to be the originator, and that someone who declared themselves that they should be the supreme commander. They got kicked the hell out along with all their minions and sent down here with the rest of the yahoos down here. And we all exist in the middle of all this, trying to find some way, shape, form, or fashion that we can get out of it in one piece, and our souls won't be consigned to darkness when we have to stand in judgment when they raise us up out of Sheol. That's what's all that's going on. So the watchers are kind of like your referees. They in here to make sure that, things gonna go left, things gonna go right. Remember, it said that not you might or you probably, it said you will have trials and tribulations in this world. That means you're going to have problems. It's not if you're going to have problems. It's when you're going to have the problem. It's not the problem that is the issue. It's how you handle the problem that is the issue. Problems are going to keep coming. It's like a video game. And the bigger the problem you solve with, now you can handle a bigger one, each one preparing you for the purpose that you should be walking in. If you sitting around right now and you listen to what I'm talking about, I'm not getting into none of this worldly stuff yet. I got to deal with people that's sitting around in some dark places. People sitting around on the fence right now. People sitting around because nobody's speaking directly to them about what is the best way to go to fix my particular situation. I don't need to hear about what happened 4,000-5,000 years ago if it's not going to fix what's going to happen tomorrow in 2020. I don't need to know about these watches if them watches ain't really manifesting themselves right now. What am I doing wrong that they won't step in so I can see a miracle, so that I can receive some type of a blessing, so I can have my eyebrows up? That's what I need somebody to talk to me about. I don't need nobody to sit here and tell me that if I'm obedient to a book, that all of a sudden I'm going to end up in the place. In the meantime, you telling me that I do these things so I won't end up in hell, but I'm catching hell right here. I'm catching hell as a black man. You catching hell as a black woman. We catching hell as a black family. The children is catching hell. Matter of fact, the whole black race is catching hell. Yet you want us to believe that if we do this, this, and this, we won't go to hell. We don't have to worry about going to hell. We already in hell. And if it ain't hell, you're doing a damn good job of showing us what it might be like. So I know I'm talking to somebody tonight tuned in on this live, that the rest of y'all got perfect perfect lives. This shit don't apply to y'all. This is just entertainment for you. This is a way for you to pass the time. Your boy said that it was interesting. You up in here because you a troll. You up in here because you a racist. You up in here for any reason other than the core people who are here because they need somebody to speak through the bullshit, through all of the smoke and mirrors, through all of the mind wash, that they can hear somebody say, I ain't the only one thinking this. I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one that need a breakthrough. I'm not the only one that needs salvation. I'm not the only one that's tired of this bullshit and need my own space in the place, or I'm going to lose my mind along with my people. I know I'm not the only one that feel that way. Somebody say, talk to me, black man. I could be sitting somewhere right now in a beautiful structure with 4,000 or 5,000 of y'all sitting there paying to hear these words. Oh, we could milk you for all you got. You forget I know show business and I know it well in spite of what they say. That's why they hate me there too. I did it too goddamn well. I was ahead of my time. But now we're talking about our salvation. Now we're talking about our liberation. Now we're talking about our unification. And I'm bringing the same energy to this game that I brought to that game. And oh, the payoff is fucking sweet because it's not about money. It's about the beauty of watching all of you stand the fuck up. Now, don't get Jay wrong. I've had some moments where I've begun to wonder what y'all really want. Maybe y'all don't want this. Maybe it's time for me to go away. Maybe y'all try this again in 40, 50 years if you still here. Because at the beginning, everybody was singing praises. But remember that old saying, they will sing your praises on Monday and they'll crucify your ass on Friday, especially in this instant just add water civilization that we live in. Y'all act like shit's supposed to happen tomorrow. Y'all act like y'all gonna open y'all mailbox next week and there's a reparation check sitting in there for you because you done simplified a complex situation. You act like somebody's supposed to come in and walk up there and say, let my people go, and throw down a stick and all of us just walk out the next day with everything that we want. A lot of y'all, that's how y'all think. So when it doesn't happen overnight, you turn on the very same people that came to liberate you. You rather be comfortable again in your captivity with the same people who ain't done nothing to elevate your living standard than you would to sit there and be patient and work with the people that's trying to elevate you. You rather give more power to people who just talk and never do any walking than to sit there and criticize somebody who's actually trying to walk not just themselves but everybody else, man, woman, and child, to a higher level of existence, which is exactly what you was purposed for. Y'all call yourselves kings. Y'all call yourselves queens, don't you? Y'all say that y'all of the royal priesthood, don't you? Y'all say that y'all descendants of this and y'all descendants of that, don't you? Then instead of talking about it, don't you think that the time has run out, that we need to be about it? We are running out of time. Y'all don't believe we running out of time. Let me tell you why you're running out of time. You're running out of time because of the simple fact that no matter how you try to cut it, can I teach in here? You are a chosen people, but you're not only chosen, you're special. Matter of fact, let me tell you how special you are. You see this right here, this brownness that you see in me, it's called melanin. And if you know anything about the powers of melanin, it's not just what makes the skin brown. It's also what makes the grass green. It's what makes the sky black and blue. Melanin is in everything except one particular creature, but melanin is a universal chemical. How many of y'all are familiar with the Fitzpatrick scale? Can I educate you and open your mind here tonight on Factz Over Feelings? The Fitzpatrick scale is a numerical classification scheme for human that they use to classify people. Now, if you can go and look it up, they're going to clean it up because, you know, they got to bend certain stuff so that it doesn't offend the powers that be. If you remember, Dr. Laila Africa taught on this, of the scale of the amount of melanin in you determines how superior you are as a human being. Can I break them down for you? Let's just use the skin for an example. Let's talk about melanin real quick. Hold up. Give me some water because I'm about to get into this. Now, if there are six types of melanin. Okay. You're in here somewhere. All right. I don't care if you're so black that if we cut the lights out, we have to file a missing persons report to somebody that's so light. Every time that there's a lightning flash, you disappear. But a type 1 scores on a 0 to a 6, always burns, never tans, they pale, and they got freckles. A type 2, which is a 7 to a 13, you usually burn and you tan minimally. A type 3, that's about a 14 to a 20. Sometimes a mild burn. Your tan is uniform, but you do tan a little bit. You're a type 4. That's from 21 to 27. Your burns are minimally. You always tan well. You're moderate brown. Type 5, which is a 28 to 34, you very rarely burn. You tan kind of easy to a nice dark brown caramel like your boy. And last but not least, a type 7, which is a 35 to 36, never burns. Deeply pigmented, dark brown to the darkest brown, the darker the berry. Y'all know, turn to your partner and say, the sweeter the brother or the sister. Now, when you look at this scale, you think they're talking about skin, but they're not. They're talking about the amount of melanin in your skin, which makes you resistant. You see, according to them, whatever is going on, UV radiation and all of these things that your skin is resilient to, it's not your skin, it's the melanin that is resistant, because it can even take, it is so powerful, it can take sunlight and turn it into something good for your body. Light hits your skin, it metamorphosizes, synthesizes it, and then you got vitamin K, you got vitamin D, you got all kind of vitamins coming, because melanin is the key. Makes you a chosen person. Melanin is the main reason why they want to test medicines and vaccines on black people, because melanin is what drives your immune system. The more melanin you have, if you're eating correctly, you are a gold mine to science. That's why, even though the lowest count for this COVID-19 is in Africa, next to Oceania, they want to go down there and stick needles in all them people. Why? So they can capture a vaccine. Now, all of a sudden, this agenda is being pushed real hard. Now, all of a sudden, they rushing to get a vaccine done. Now, all of a sudden, the president-elect is meeting with people. If you call CVS Pharmacy, the recording will now tell you that they are getting ready. That when it's time for you to get your vaccine, come here. They done changed the recording. That's not what it said a week ago. They're about to step the plan into high gear. Like I told you, what is y'all going to do? The needle or the bullet? Take the needle, mark of the beast. Don't take the needle. We on some Walking Dead type shit. We out here on the run. We out here trying to survive on the fringes of a society that has now become controlled. New York City knows exactly what I'm talking about. They're trying to do it with laws. Don't forget, it's all about your melanin. You think they really give a damn about you? Look, it's 2020, y'all. 2020. In 2020, there's some signs that are left over from the segregation era that says Negroes. Yeah. Down in a place called Ellis County, there's a courthouse. They had to cover up the sign today, only because the only black person and Democrat serving in an elected position in the county was moved to share a basement office near the sign. Y'all ain't hear what I just said. Y'all ain't just hear what I just said. The only reason they covered up the Negro sign, y'all, was because a black man who was an elected official had to share the space. Y'all still believe that we've come so far? You let me walk into a place and I see a sign that say colored only. Negroes. I got to look around and wonder where the hell I'm at. I got to adjust my attitude. I got to be strapped up, shouted. So that's in the news. I'm not going to dig into the details. But why do you think they still look at them that way? Well, they look at them that way is because nothing's changed. Y'all really don't believe that there's not this silent program to get rid of you. There is. Oh, can I help you out? Okay. They just came out with a study, and the study says what we talked about last week, SAI. You know what I'm talking about? Stratospheric aerosol injections. That's what they're spraying in the air over you. Let me say it again. Stratosphere, higher than a commercial plane. Aerosol, they're spraying something like you spray air freshener in the room. Injection, they're injecting it into the stratosphere, into the wind streams so it can spread out. That's why you see the little line go by and next thing you know, it's a cloudy day. But they've gotten very precise with it now. They're right in front of the sun now. They make sure that I was in Atlanta this past weekend, and it was a clear, beautiful night, clear, beautiful day. Everything was beautiful. But they started spraying right in front of the sun. It's like a little grid. Nowhere else, just right in front of the sun. No matter where the sun went, so you're asking yourself, well, what are they doing? Let's go ahead and clear that up tonight so y'all can stop all this conspiracy theory bullshit. There are several institutions of higher learning. What is it? MIT. What's the other institution? These are all Ivy League institutions. They're participating in a study. Harvard. Who else is involved? Massachusetts Institute, MIT. Those are the only ones I can think of that come to mind. They're all participating in a program that's being funded by Bill Gates. The idea is if they spray SAIs into the upper atmosphere, that they can block out enough of the sunlight and reflect it to cool the earth. Here's what they're basing it on. They're basing it on the idea that when a volcano erupts and it throws a whole lot of dirt in the air, that for a little while the earth cools down. This is truly man on the verge of fucking up. Here's why. They don't know what the side effects are by interrupting the actual amount of solar light that reaches this planet, which affects everything on the planet, including us. You're trying to cool the planet by blocking the sun, but the sun is the source of life on Earth. Now they came out with this report today that says that they don't think that'll work. They don't think it'll work. They say you can spray all this shit in the air you won't, but there are other factors that are contributing to the development of these greenhouse gases if you buy into all of that. Now, if you get a copy of Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, you can look at the report that's been published. There says that there's an argument against this. Solar geoengineering is what it's called. It's not a get out of jail free card that lets us off the hook for our need to cut out CO2 emissions. We just can't burn off the fossil fuels in the ground and solve the problem with all solar geoengineering. It doesn't work that way. But these aerosols are supposed to replicate the cooling that happens after volcanic eruptions. So you want us just to act like the earth is in a perpetual state of cool. Suppose you initiate an ice age. You already see how crazy the weather. We're having some of the strongest storms than we've ever seen. Yes, a lot of it may be from sources outside of this world, but we're actually doing a lot of it ourselves. And I'm not going to say we. Let's go ahead and break something down. Those planes that you're seeing flying that are making these aerosols, they're flying higher than civilian jets. As a matter of fact, they're flying so high, you have to ask yourself, are they manned? Are they drones? Are they computer controlled from the ground? How is it they're able to fly these perfect grids in these straight lines and then disappear? They have no landing lights, no markings. I've watched them through telescopes. You can do this yourself. Don't just listen to me. Go out and look up yourself and you wonder, why can't you see a sunset? Why can't you see a sunrise? Because somebody is trying to survive. And it ain't us. It ain't the melanin people. Okay? They did a computer simulation suggesting that using geoengineering to cool the planet would not be enough to overcome greenhouse effects if emissions continue at the current rate. So you would ask yourself, why don't we just move to some other form of technology rather than burning up every goddamn thing and polluting the sky? Because the race that's in control is too greedy and too simplistically minded to understand, and they really don't give a damn. Y'all know I taught y'all this before in the Nephilim and the pyramid of the apocalypse, why they don't give a shit about this world or anything that lives in it. That's why they kill everything for sport. That's why they enslave its original people. That's why they try to use up all of its resources. That's why they so cannibalistic and hateristic toward you. Those people in New York know that the state just passed a mandatory COVID-19 vaccination program. So they're going to try and get you one way or the other. However, there is some good news in all of this. The good news is, since we're children of the Most High, he's not going to sit back and let that happen to us. Oh, yes. You mean y'all didn't hear? Friday the 13th. Y'all know how they say Friday the 13th is a bad luck day? Oh, yes, it was a very bad luck day. As a matter of fact, it was such a bad luck day. A low-flying space rock set a record last Friday, the 13th, when a rock known by the name of 2020 VT4 passed just under 250 miles over the South Pacific. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. a meteor that they didn't see coming flew so close that it was lower than the space shuttle. I mean, than the International Space Station. And it flew over the South Pacific. If it had hit the water, we all would have had an interesting day. All of us. And y'all had no idea that this was happening because they had no idea because they didn't see it coming. And that ain't the first time some shit done flew past here and they just saw it leaving. Come on, NASA. Y'all like the cops. NASA is like the cops now. Remember, the cops used to come and try to prevent crime, and they were crime fighters. Now the cops are the cleanup committee. They come to clean shit up or to fuck shit up. They never come to prevent crime. They never come to serve and protect anymore. They now show up to fuck up. I'm being real. That's what they become. NASA's the same way. They telling us about shit that already done happened. They already, even the I mean, look, have y'all noticed that on the Weather Channel and all these other channels, they never tell you for real what's gonna happen because they don't know no more. But they good at telling you about what done happened. Well, some things we don't need to know. Trust me, if them motherfuckers had hit the ocean, you wouldn't have had to tell us what happened. We would be asking you, do you know what happened? Well, that happened. This happened in the early morning hours of Saturday. Friday night, Saturday morning. And they said that they saw it leaving. It was already gone. Done flew past. Again, you have to ask yourself, what is the earth passing through? Because we're hitting nothing but rock after rock after rock. Y'all don't want me to go back and unpack the classes that I taught y'all about the comets that would swoop around the sun and around December, November time frame. Did not tell you on their exit from the solar system, they would be pulling a bunch of shit with them and that the earth would pass right through it. If you did follow that class, y'all remember I did the class on the comet, the communists, and the conspiracy. Remember that? Right with the beginning of the COVID-19 situation. And I told y'all about that massive ass comet that was bigger than Jupiter that broke into 3 pieces and they all flew around the sun in May. And I told y'all in November, December time frame, if we were going slow enough, it would come from under and pass over right in front of us and be gone by the sun. And then the debris, we would pass through the debris field. We wouldn't get whacked by the comet, but we would have to pass through the debris field. And since they don't know what the hell is coming, because remember, it came from around the sun. So that means all of the rocks are coming from the sun. They can't see them coming, but they can damn sure see them when they pass, because once they miss us, you can see the sun shining on them as they driving the fuck off. So the bottom line was Friday the 13th, again, we almost got our ass handed to us. And I like to say this. You wonder why they don't tell you these things up front. You have to ask yourself, why didn't they tell us it was coming? Because they don't want you distracted from the earthly mind game that they're playing on you right now. You know, all these distractions like the election and all that stuff. They want to keep your mind. This ain't the time for y'all to panic while they trying to transfer power from one hand to the other of the same team. They need y'all focused right now. They don't need y'all to really know that there's a possibility that shit could go horribly wrong and we could all find ourselves back in the ice age in a couple of days. They want you to stay focused on the vote. That's what we need to do. Let's just keep throwing shit out. They sacrificed Lil Wayne to get y'all attention. Yeah, well, Wayne got locked up. Nigga, Lil Wayne got locked up. Anything to keep y'all from realizing that we are very, very lucky. We've been lucky for about a month now. All kinds of shit is flying by and it's getting closer and closer and they know it. 250 miles, what's the next one you're not going to see coming? 125 miles, what's the next one you're not going to see coming? Because anything that gets within 60 miles above the earth, you're going to have an explosion and a sonic boom that's going to flatten shit and they know it. That's if it's an air burst. If it's a ground impact, well, I got my AB bag ready. What about you? Because this is still the tribulation that y'all don't want to admit that you living in. It started in 2017 and it ends in 2024. You ain't got to believe me. Your own eyes should tell you that everything is wrong. Your own eyes should tell you that something is going wrong here with the weather, with the way people is acting, with everything. Your soul should tell you that you starting to feel energized if you wanted the Most High because you feel like you about to walk in your purpose. There's some people who don't even know how you got here. It says that the footsteps of of the righteous are ordered by him above. So every step you took, every corner you turned, or every person you did or didn't talk to brought you one step closer to be sitting right here so that I could talk to you. And you said you prayed to Yah and you asked him to give you a sign. You said you prayed to Yah to give you some indication that there was some hope for our people. You said you prayed for Yah to somebody to come along and articulate that tickling that you feeling in your inner soul. And now that you got it, what done happened? Y'all, like I said before, you'll sing hallelujah on Monday. Let's crucify his ass on Friday. The last time y'all did that, you lost your messenger and you spent 2,000 odd years running around trying to figure out the lie that they told you about it. Now everything is repeating itself all over again, and some of y'all still don't believe. Like I told you once before, you believe in Yah, but you don't believe him. You don't believe what's written. You interpret it your own way. You want to say something to make you feel comfortable because you don't want to be scared, because you don't want to have to do no work. You don't want to have to stand up and walk in the purpose that you was because you're too comfortable sitting on your ass. But we got to stop that, don't we? Yes, we do. I'm going to tell you why. Because everything comes together at some point. Remember when we were growing up? Y'all remember the song Conjunction Junction? What's your what? Somebody help me out. Hooking up trains. Somebody help me out. Where my Sesame Street people at? Y'all, come on. Conjunction Junction. What's your what? What's your function? You see, a conjunction serves a purpose. And that's the simplest example I can give you. Otherwise, it'll get too deep for me to show you how everything that you do plants a seed that is relevant to things you're going to do, because you are actually planting the seeds of your own future. You don't have to sit there and throw bones and read tarot cards. Just look at the shit that you've been doing. Those are the seeds of your future. If you sit back and think back 5-10 years of shit that you did, look at where you at now and look at how much of it is related to things you did that you planted seeds that now today they have grown fruition. They walking around and your ass got to deal with them. You write your own future by the seeds that you plant. So a conjunction of those things coming together must serve a purpose. And I gave you the sun, the moon, and the stars for the keeping of time, the keeping of the seasons, and for signs. So a conjunction in the sky is a sign. A sign of what? Well, we're flying down the interstate of life. They always got signs that tell you some exits up ahead. There's some construction. There's some speed bumps. There's some congestion. There's a no speed zone where you can ball all out. But how many of you realize that there's going to be a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn that's going to occur on December 21st, 2020. Doesn't that date ring a bell to you? Come on, y'all got to stay with me. That's the Northern Hemisphere's winter solstice. And at that time, those two planets alone will be in the constellation of Copernicus. They'll be low toward the southwest horizon, and they'll be separated by a mere distance. They're going to look so close together, they're going to look almost like one. And you're going to be wondering, what is that in the sky? What is going on? What is the sign? Well, if you continue to look, you'll then notice that all the other planets are lined up too. And you're like, oh, what's going on? Why is everybody in formation? Why is the universe getting in order? Why at that moment is everything aligning? Because the time has come, melanated people, for you to align also. You can fight it if you want to, but I beg of you, do not be like Adam. Oh, what does he mean by don't be like Adam? What's he talking about? Let me break it down for you. Y'all heard the story a million times about Yah was walking in the garden in the still coolness of the evening. And he said, Adam, where are you? As if he didn't know where he was. Now, if you bring Yah down to your level, you actually believe something like that he's mortal like you, and you have to ask your child, where are they? Because you don't know. But he knows where everybody is. He's everywhere. He knows everything. So he wasn't asking because he didn't know. He was asking because he wanted Adam to know that his ass was out of position. Whatever you're doing, whatever it is that you're up to, you're not where I left you. You're not doing what I told you. You're not performing the way I built you. And you're not living up to the purpose that I set you in here for. So where are you? That's the question a lot of us have to ask ourselves. We should be getting into alignment as a race. The time for petty games is over. Because when he show up this time and says, where are you? The last thing us as the descendants of the 12 tribes is wanting to be is out of position. So y'all can sit around and start this infighting. We will infight over anything. Shit, did they infight to get on the slave ship too? The ones that did get on there? Can you imagine people mad about this? I don't like the fact that they stuck my ass in the corner. Well, who you talking about? I asked for a window seat. Y'all can see y'all will infight over anything. This ain't the time to be infighting. This is the time for us to be unifying. My people, peculiar that you are. As a matter of fact, when this great conjunction happens, you should be in alignment as a nation. We should all be in some form of an alignment. So therefore, we can say that we too, even in our physicality, that we are being obedient to the sign that we're seeing in the skies. If I could be so kind, if y'all don't mind, I got a couple of quotes that I got to hit you with. And you know that I'm going to the book of precepts and morals. I love to jump into this book. It rejuvenates my spirit every time. But today I was asked a couple of questions, and I'm going to answer those questions in the following fashion. One of, and this is completely just another extra for the sisters out there who asked for this. I want to jump in this real quick because I've already made you understand that we're all special. I've already showed you how we are the chosen. I've shown you that through chemistry alone, that you have a physicality that means that you are expected to perform at a higher rate. Not saying that you're superior. I didn't make the Fitzpatrick scale. They did. I'm just saying that you fall into the category of the most superior race. So you wear it, the shoe fits, wear it. But I got to dig into something really quick. When we talk about the secrets of womanhood. Oh, can I dig into it for a minute? Let me talk to y'all. I ain't gonna hold you for so long. You see, somewhere around chapter 66 in the books of morals and precepts, it says, a woman was meant to be the helpmate and the companion of man, to be his inspiration, to be his joy, not the slave to his desires and the servants of his passions. Let me say it again, because some sister need to hear this. Woman was meant to be the helpmate and companion of man, his inspiration and his joy, not the slave to his desires and the servant of his passions. So sisters, if the only time that he finds you desirable is when you're satisfying his passions, then you are not walking in your current and your prescribed position. You're not. If he treats you like a slave, like he owns you, that is not holy. That is not what's written in the ancient Egyptian books. So that means that you make the choice of how you exist. Remember, it is also written that a woman chooses which path she's going to walk. If you want to be the wifey type, you got to choose that path and you have to stay on that path. You don't get to jump over to the other side. If you choose not to be the wifey type, you can be a harlot, but you can never cross back over to the other side. That's what they wrote. They said, but a woman chooses that path, not the man. The man doesn't decide what path you're going to walk, when the fact of the matter is that most men will be accepted of whichever type of woman you decide to become. Don't let men fool you with them strong raps. And I know that the majority of the sisters here know exactly what I'm talking about. Women, you attract men by your reserve, not by your boldness. Did you all know that? I used to love when I would see people that say that, well, we need to pray about that. What you need to pray about it for? We don't need to pray about anything. I taught you in chapter 61 on the concept of prayer. It says that prayer is the communication of the soul of man with the soul of God. It is the effective means whereby the great dam of spiritual power and inspiration is tapped. Above all, it is not a babble of words. Now, here's the part that I broke theologies back too long ago. I'm going to break it again tonight. It says, when you pray, you do so in silence with all the words retained within yourself. Pray not with the tongue and the mouth, but with the spirit. Now, doesn't that just break down somebody's theology? Because you are always talking, and we're supposed to pray like this. Our Father who art in heaven. Do you want to know who wrote that? I'm going to read it to you again. When you pray, do so in silence, with all the words retained within yourself. Pray not with the tongue and mouth, but with the spirit. Because anybody can say anything out their mouth. That is a conversation between you and the Most High. Oh, I know I don't piss some people off now. Y'all better go ahead and log off. So you don't want to know the truth. You see, here's why. Words have power. You can cast power with your mouth. So if someone is telling you to say something out loud, you have to ask yourself, who are you giving power to? Have you ever wondered every time something happens that the deity that you calls on never saves you? Maybe because you're giving power to something that's not designed to help you, but designed to hurt you. And you're giving it power. Somebody asked me if I would give that to you for free. The same way somebody asked me, can you please explain why we shouldn't fear death? Fear not death. For when he comes, you will no longer be there. Nevertheless, it is well to live a good life and be free from the fear of his shadow. For he that is good has nothing to fear. That is a very simplistic way of saying what we taught you before in the book of Jubilee, in the book of Yasher, where it talks about what happens at the judgment. That no matter what type of physical form you're entrapped in, whether you're a paraplegic or you're disabled, that is not your true form. Your true form is the form of your soul, which is released from your physical at the judgment. The problem is your soul is like a silly putty. You're shaping it by the things that you do here in this classroom. So when we strip away the physical, some of you all are beautiful, but some of you all are so hideous. You did this to yourself. I told you, you write your own future. I just gave y'all some things to think about tonight. That's all I wanted to do. Facts over feelings. Don't get mad. Get straight. And remember this before I go. I told y'all I'm going to be quick and fast in a hurry. I ain't going to hold you long. I know y'all got more important things to do than sit around and listen to me. At least that's what I heard. But I want to spend some time with you because I want to hit you in the head with this right here. I want you to entertain a thought for me. I'm going to go put it out there because the question was asked for me today. And I had to actually answer that question. So, what are you going to do if I disappear? What are you going to do if you wake up tomorrow and you find out I've had enough? What are you going to do if I say to you that I found out that my enemy is not the white man at all? It's you. That I can see why we've never gotten anywhere. Because there are some people who are fighting just as hard to make sure we don't go anywhere or get out of anything. And that they'll even go so far as to kill me and everyone that even attempts to push them out of the position that they're in. What if I told you that I have a great life, that I don't have to do this, that I could fade into obscurity and be comfortable the rest of my life, but that I come out every day, every morning, every night? For what? So that people can crucify you. Some people would get to the point where they say they deserve what they get. Because you can't sit here and criticize the help that's sent to you, and then the moment you need help, you call on them. It doesn't work that way. So I want you to entertain that. The thought that everyone thinks will never happen. That I could disappear and there'll be no more of these talks and there'll be no more NFAC and there'll be no more movement and things will be just like they was before the quarantine. What are you going to do? Because from the looks of it and the way a lot of you all are acting, being wishy-washy and going backwards, you're starting to make me believe that you are comfortable and don't want to do the work. And that, listen, we'll try some other time. If one more person tells me we're not ready without knowing it's time to get ready, then you need to understand this. The same way Robert F. Williams found out when he left this country and went abroad that he was treated like a king, because even they could see how fickle and self-destructive Negroes in America are compared to everywhere else, then maybe you would reconsider some of the things that you're doing, because this is not just for you. This is for melanated people everywhere, and you're just a part of it. And every time that Yah has sent someone to ring the bell or to blow the horn, and they start off in America, it is Black Americans who turn out to be the enemy that they couldn't overcome. And I'm not that goddamn stupid. So y'all either gonna have to rally up and we circle our wagons and we get to the business and stop entertaining this foolishness and start shutting these people down left and right and backing these people up out of our space and being devoted and stop letting people sway you. Or y'all can find yourselves somebody else who will put up with the psychological challenge and the abuse of trying to save your ass. And I just had to give it to you straight with no chaser. Facts over feelings each and every day. You either in or you're out. There is no back and forth. I was not sent here to sit down and babysit you in your pity party. My mission is very simple. Liberation by any means necessary for all of us. Told you I would never leave you. Don't force me to. And if you ever heard that in a relationship, that'll make you stop and say, I need to get my shit together. And on that note, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Really looking forward to seeing the folks in Atlanta, NFAC, that will be there. Some inside, some outside, everybody ready to do what we do. And of course, the after party that will be going down. I'll be releasing the details shortly if you still want to attend. I think they might try to COVID-19 us out of there. But for right now, the show must go on. Other than that, I look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow morning on the Morning Mental. I'm so glad y'all could hang out with me. It wasn't too brutal. You'll be okay, because it's all love. It's all love for everybody. And remember, no matter what religious persuasion that you have, no matter who you want to line up with, no matter what position you choose to take, just remember one thing. At the end of the day, just be black. You can divide the rest later, but for right now, just be black. Can we do that? Can we just be black? I mean, we done fell in love with ourselves again. Can we just be black? Can y'all stop splitting yourself up? I mean, you can't say something like, I'm a such and such and I'm black. No, it's the other way around. We all black, really. And we got in the blackness, we got some of these, 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 but we all M&Ms in the bag. Okay. I ain't never seen a green M&M jump out the bag and say, the M&M jump like, hey, I'm green. And I just happen to be an M&M. No. Just be black. If you don't have your t-shirt and your hoodie, thearticle.com, you better go ahead while they still last. And also, if you have not gotten, see, I know I've given y'all that I told y'all about that. I told me to make sure I ain't forgot nothing. There's a lot going on, y'all. What else haven't I want to tell y'all about? We good. Told y'all about the party. I told y'all about, I guess that's it. Oh, I know what it is. I forgot to tell y'all. Don't let this get out. But I love all y'all. I really do. Even though y'all pluck my nerves, I got nothing but love for all my people. Somebody said donations. You can go to blacknfac.com and make your donations there, whether it's for the 55K Army, whether it's for the million to a formation in the spring, or whether it is to facilitate the financing of the NFAC so that we can get the hell up out of here. That's your choice. You can go there and make sure you leave your reason for what it is, and we'll go from there. But meanwhile, like I said before, I'm in love with all y'all. And I will see y'all tomorrow morning on the Morning Mental. Y'all have a good night. Again, we are almost to the 21st of December. We are still looking at multiple locations for the what I'm calling the alignment formation, where we are going to occupy an entire Black neighborhood. And we're not just going to be in the neighborhood. We're going to patrol the neighborhood. We're going to feed the neighborhood. We're going to give clothes to those in the neighborhood. We're going to talk with the young men and the young women in the neighborhood. We're going to go down on the drug corners where them boys at. We're going to slide up to the strip. If anybody out there, we're going to go down there. We're going to find out what's happening. We're going to talk to the old folks. We're going to hang out in the neighborhood. And then when the police show up, we're going to roll right behind them too, because we want to let them know that for one day, we're in the neighborhood, not talking about it, but making a difference. We're looking at some locations. Yes, open carry is a must. We're not going anywhere doing all of that. And we just got harsh words and goodwill. We already know that that does not work. We'll let y'all know the details here shortly. For those of y'all that want to assist and attend, this is not just about carrying weapons. This is about feeding people. This is about talking with people. This is about handing out clothes to people. This is about mentoring to people. This is about talking to young folks, old folks. This is about us feeling good about our community. We'll let you know when that's going to happen, where it's going to happen, but it will be December the 21st. I think I've held y'all too long. It's been a pleasure. My name is Grandmaster Jay, and I will see y'all tomorrow morning. Shalom. Almost forgot. Where's the dog? Somebody said they wanted to see the did y'all want the dog is up in here, man. You know he's not. Come here. Come here. Come here.